you guys? It is your boy, the American F1 fan, Eric Ringle here, and we're here to talk about Cadillac. As we know, Cadillac joins the grid in 2026 in Formula One, but we don't know who yet's going to be driving for the team. So I thought, why not? Let's go over some of the names that may potentially get a seat with the Cadillac team, and I've even got one wildcard driver that I think may deserve a shot just as much as any of these four that I'm going to name. So talking about drivers that are potentially up for the Cadillac position, the first one you've got to talk about is Sergio Perez. Now, Sergio Perez in his career in Formula One has got 6 race wins, 3 pole positions, 12 fastest laps, and 39 podiums. And as we saw, now, a lot of people will say, well, his time at Red Bull, he stunk, he was horrible. He was no match for Max Verstappen. But I think as we've seen this year, just in the 2025 season, that second seat at Red Bull is so cursed. And I think we're starting to learn that car was so built around Max Verstappen and the way that he drives that I think Sergio Perez kind of got slighted as far as, how they were going to build the car and tailor it to his driving style. And I think Sergio Perez is still a quality driver in Formula One. And I think any team, especially Cadillac, looking for, some sponsorships that are going to go onto the car, he's a guy that's going to bring you some major money into the team that'll help you guys out to help develop the car as quickly as you guys need to be a force to, potentially, be best of the midfield or even maybe chase down some of the top teams. So next guy we're talking about is a guy that always constantly gets brought up in the talks of Formula One and drivers that may move over to Formula One. And that's Colton Herta, the American driver who drives for Andretti Global. He's a guy that, is going to probably be looked at as like one of the main front runners for getting one of the driving positions at Cadillac, because Cadillac is so closely tied with Andretti Global and the failed attempt that Andretti had at trying to get into Formula One. Colton Herta is a guy, though. He's got 8 victories over his entire career. He's got over 10 pole positions. He's never won a championship, though, in IndyCar, but not for a lack of trying. He's been there now 7 years, and he's had a couple seasons where he's really chased it down. 2021, where he had 3 victories there, and even last season, he was in with a shot potentially to win the championship, but he just hasn't won the big one yet at IndyCar. But, if we're looking at it, Cadillac is tied to Andretti Global, and I think he's the huge front runner to get one of these seats. And I honestly, if I'm thinking about it, I would be shocked if Colton Herta doesn't get one of these seats, but there are some other drivers, though, to look at. And one of those drivers is Valtteri Bottas. Now, he's a guy who's been in Formula One for a long time. He is now the reserve driver at Mercedes, but over his entire career, he's got 10 race wins, 20 pole positions, 19 fastest laps, and 67 podiums. Now, he did a lot of that at Mercedes, almost all of that at Mercedes. Now, he never won a championship, but let's look at who his teammate was at Mercedes that he was basically having to back up, and that was Lewis Hamilton. And Lewis had his career made at Mercedes, winning multiple championships there. But if you think about it, Valtteri, had Lewis not been there, Valtteri was a guy that really could have been pushing for championships. If Lewis would have stayed at McLaren, Valtteri would have definitely brought the fight in that Mercedes to a Lewis Hamilton. But when you're a second driver to Lewis, you tend not to get that preferential treatment, as we saw many, many times throughout his career at Mercedes. But he's a guy that knows how to win and can bring a winning attitude to a Cadillac team who, desperately needs somebody to come in there and be the top guy starting off before, to try to get you, some decent race results to potentially get yourself further up the constructor standings, because that's where a lot of the team's money is made, is in those constructor standings. Now, my front runner, who I think deserves one of these seats at Cadillac, this is my guy, Alex Palou. Now, I know what you guys may be saying. He's only been in IndyCar, and he has tested quite a few times for McLaren over in Formula One. He was a reserve driver at one time for McLaren. But this guy has done everything in IndyCar at this point. He's got 13 wins, 6 pole position, and 31 podium finishes in 83 starts in IndyCar. Like, this guy is absolutely killing it. And when you think about it, he's won 3 championships in IndyCar in 2021, 2023, and 2024. And if the IndyCar season has shown us anything in 2025, it looks like Alex Palou is well on his way to winning his 4th championship in IndyCar. And I think at this point, he's got nothing left to prove in IndyCar. Yeah, you can go on and win more and more championships, but I think the logical next step for Alex Palou is to move back over to Europe and to get into Formula One and to become a full-time race driver there. And Cadillac would be absolutely over the moon to get a driver like Alex Palou, who's a proven winner, who's proven that he can get results in IndyCar, in open wheel racing. I mean, it's logically the next step from IndyCar to Formula One, and he has raced in lower formulas over in Europe before, so it's not like he's coming in to Formula One without any kind of like experience within the lower formula series. So this is a guy that I think Cadillac would be very much appreciative if they could get him signed to their team. So now on to my wild card pick. Now this guy, you're talking about a guy who has been able to do it all in several different categories. He's a proven winner, a proven champion, and Cadillac would be, I mean, over the moon if they could get a proven champion and a proven winner like this into their Formula One team. Now, granted, it all depends on whether or not he has enough points for a super license, but I mean, how do you not at least think about this name? And that's Shane Van Gisbergen. Now, supercar guy, he's had 80 total wins in supercars. He's got 3 championships in supercars. Then they brought him over to NASCAR in what was supposed to be a one-off race for Shane at Chicago, at the street course in Chicago in NASCAR. And in his very first start in NASCAR, he pulls off the race victory. He wins in whatever vehicle he gets in. And he's won 2 more times in NASCAR series, in both the Xfinity series and in NASCAR, the main series. This is a guy that I think if you bring into Cadillac, if he's got the super license points, this guy has been able to win wherever he goes. And I think this brings more eyes to the sport. And he's a guy, Shane's a proven winner. Like, what more can you say about the guy? With as many times as he's won in supercars, and now the fact that he's winning in NASCAR, I feel like Cadillac may be good to bring him over and put him in a Formula One car. So guys, that is my list. Those are my 5 drivers that I think Cadillac would be very interested in looking at to potentially bring into Formula One. But let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think and who you guys think will get those 2 Cadillac seats in 2026. Guys, hit that like button. It helps push this video out to more and more Formula One fans and auto racing fans in general. And if you are new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world. We're getting so close to 1,000 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button and get me to 1,000. But guys, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. And for the American F1 fan, I'm Eric Ringel, signing off.